A tiny house is just a house. It's just a thing. It's our love that we build into a space that makes it a home. And this next story is maybe the best example of just that. Hi Louise, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you. It is lovely to be here at your beautiful home.
It's wonderful to meet you and to have you here.
This is such a beautiful spot you've got here. It doesn't get more idyllic than this, eh? What a beautiful country outlook you've got.
Absolutely. It changes with the seasons. It has the most amazing sunsets. You can't ask for a better place, really.
I completely agree. And it's so lovely to be at your house as well and to get to look out on all of these animals too.
Yes, we've got quite a number of different ones, with 4 little calves being the latest addition to the family.
They are so cute and they must be very newly born.
Yes, they're only about 5 days old, so they're still in the baby stage. They're not even on grass or anything yet, so 2 feeds a day at this point.
Oh, that's so cute. And you've got horses here as well, don't you?
Yes, I do. I've got 2 horses. One is a new one and one I've had for a number of years. So I seem to rescue a lot of animals. And then I've got a couple of dogs, got a couple of extra big cows as well, chickens and ducks, you name it. It's all happening here. Just call me Pippa Longstockings.
And that really is one of the benefits to having a bit of land to play with, because you're on quite a large section here, aren't you?
Yes, approximately around 4.5 acres. So it spreads all the way down and a little bit across. And the beauty of having all this extra land as well, it means I've got access to everything that you see around us as well. So I go for walks through the paddocks, I take the horses for a run, got the river across the road, so...
What a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then your lovely home here. Can you talk to me about how it was that you came to be living in a tiny house?
So I'd always been looking at tinies and just been super curious about, hey, that looks like something fun, and thought, nah, it'd be kind of cool to create one. I did own a house in town, and then I found Rebecca and the team and thought, let's go and have a look. Before I knew it, before we left, we'd actually kind of signed up.
Amazing.
And it was all go from there, basically.
Yeah. And so you had the shell of the tiny house built, but you actually did a lot of the work on the interior fit out yourself, didn't you?
Correct. So I love DIY myself. And with my father and I, we have painted, plastered, you name it, done it. Yeah, the only thing we haven't built is the deck.
Wow, amazing. And what was the process of DIYing it like?
I love being able to pick out my own colours. In fact, actually, the wallpaper that's throughout the house, I actually got that first before I even built the house. Nothing in here is on a full budget. It's all reused, all hand-me-downs or whatever, that kind of thing.
Amazing. And building this home together with your dad must have been such a wonderful experience as well.
Yeah, it's been a labour of love, really, because Dad ended up passing away unexpectedly just under 2 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So he loved to come down here and tinker away. Often I'd come home from work and there'll be something different completed, or he'll come home from somewhere and he'll have a cheeky look on his face and he'll pull out some bolts or something, and I'm like, what is that for? And he would just have a funny ass grin on his face and be like, we might need it. So Dad has been a huge part of establishing this, making it the home that it is today.
Yeah. And how sad that he's passed. I'm sorry to hear that, but how wonderful that you got to build all of those memories into your home with him.
Absolutely. Dad and I have done a lot together. We managed to have 4 years together before he passed away, of me being here, and nothing can put a price on that.
Yeah. And can you talk to me about what it was that made you really sort of fall in love with the idea of building a tiny house for yourself and this lifestyle?
I love the idea of being able to have my own piece of land, being able to produce off the land, go and collect eggs every other day, all my meat and everything comes off the land. Just being able to just sit out and enjoy the sunshine without having neighbours like right on your doorstep. But I think the idea of going tiny was that I could go off the grid, I didn't have to have a massive mortgage, all of that kind of stuff. It just, I've had 12 people sleeping here before.
Wow.
So it's not that, it doesn't feel that tiny, you know. I've managed to have 8 people, the whole family around for Christmas dinner in the kitchen, Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Perfect. And you've got a really large deck on this tiny house as well, which obviously gives you a lot more living space.
100%. Because we get quite a lot of rain here and I get exposed to the elements quite a bit, it was just beneficial to make a enclosed area. It just means that when I need to feed the dogs or I come home from work, I'm not going to get still saturated or anything like that. And in fact, it actually just feels like I can sit out here in summer in the hammock or have meals under here if necessary. And it just gives that extra extension on the house, really.
It certainly does.
Yeah.
And I see you've got another building over there. What's that for?
So I have an art studio. I like to just play. I wouldn't call myself an actual artist, but I like to play with paints, and pottery is my thing at the moment. But that's where I guess that kind of magic happens. And it's great to be out there in summer and just be able to just play around and have everything out. And it was very helpful when I was doing my master's in creative arts therapy, because everything had to be creative. So I needed somewhere I could totally spread out.
Yeah. And especially in a tiny house, having an extra space like that for hobbies and art where it can just get messy, but you can close the door and forget about it is pretty
100%.
pretty important.
Yeah.
And what size is the tiny house?
It is 3 meters by 8 and a double story.
Great. And can you talk to me about the design?
Sure. I didn't just want it to be straight square box type thing. So I wanted it to be 2-tone colours. And if you notice when you wander around that the battens at certain places are closer together than at different places, so that it did have a bit of a contrast.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite a nice little technique there. It's quite subtle, but it really does just add a little bit of visual difference on the home, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, very nice. And you're off the grid with this tiny house.
I am, which is awesome. So I've got solar panels on the roof, rainwater, and just gas for doing cooking and heating the water and things like that. So
Perfect. And that's working out really well?
it works fantastically well. The only time is if we have like a whole week of rain, I just flick a generator on for about half an hour and then we're happy as.
Yeah, problem solved.
Problem solved.
Nice. Well, I am very excited to see what you've done inside your home. Can we take a look?
Absolutely. Come on in.
Thank you very much. This is absolutely lovely. Of course, it makes sense that you've got so much art in here, eh? This place just explodes with colour. I love it.
Thank you. I love having pieces of art around the place. A lot of my pieces are done by friends of mine. So I like to have artwork that I actually know the person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then I know the story behind how that piece has been made.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a very comfortable looking lounge space, and I love that you've got the sparky wood stove there.
Yes, this little number heats up the whole house. That's, I even cook on there when necessary. It's beautiful and cozy on a great winter's evening.
Perfect. You cannot beat a good fire, can you?
You cannot. It's something about a good fire that just keeps you nice and snug and cozy. Yeah. The cats love it. The dog's not quite sure about it, but yeah.
I would have thought the dog would have loved the wood stove.
Sometimes it's a bit of a new novelty, but yeah.
Fair enough too. And I love how you've got the hidden television there too.
Yes, yet another thing with art, because I love to have either my art on there or somebody else's on there, but I don't like having the TV as a feature in the room.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to hide it.
It certainly is. And I see you've got the travel map in the corner as well, and you have actually travelled quite a lot, haven't you?
I love travel. I've lived in multiple different countries, South Korea, America, England. I've done a lot of work overseas. I've helped build kindergartens and done a whole bunch of painting in like East Timor and Solomon Islands. But I just like to travel. It's my way of going out there because I love doing photography and just getting amongst different cultures and, yeah, immersing myself that way. Can learn so much by being in different cultures and being around different people.
Oh, I completely agree. And I love the wallpaper too. This just really, again, adds this colour and vibrance to the room.
Yeah, I love it. It's got a texture to it as well. But this is probably what I wanted to build my house around.
Yeah.
It's my favourite colours and things like that, but it just gives an accent of different colour and texture throughout the place. So
Yeah, I completely agree. And what do we have next door?
Bathrooms next door.
Can we take a look?
Absolutely.
All right. Nice sized bathroom here.
Yeah, I love the size of my bathroom. Renovated it all at Christmas last year, upcycled chest of drawers, put in some funky little hooks.
Oh, those are cool. And another nice artwork in here as well.
Yes, this is done by a friend of mine. It's camping up the coast.
Yeah, very nice. And you've got the flushing toilet here as well. That's another nice addition.
Flushing toilet, yes, I did have a compost in here for a while that I had created myself, but decided to splurge out.
Yeah, so you've got a septic system installed as well.
Septic system.
Yeah, fair enough. And I do really like the work that you've done on the vanity there. That is a very nice feature that you've got in the bathroom.
Thank you. It just gives it a little bit extra room and just makes it a little bit more me.
Yeah, and next we've got the kitchen. Can we take a look at that?
Absolutely.
You have got a great sized kitchen here, but the very first thing that I notice is that view from here. That is gorgeous. And a great, very fully featured kitchen as well. Loads of prep space, lots of storage in here as well.
Yeah, I love my kitchen. Means I've got so much space to just spread out. I've done a lot of artwork in this kitchen. Still got all the bells and whistles though. Got the dishwasher, laundry's in here as well. Very English style, I find, having lived over there. All your plates and everything up there. But yeah, it's a great sized kitchen.
Yeah, very much so. And I really like the tiles in here as well. Again, just that real pop of vibrance.
Yeah, so I kind of bought these before I built the house. So yet another feature that I kind of created the kitchen and everything around the tiles. Another thing that I learned how to do, DIY, putting together the tiles. Good skill to now have.
Certainly is. And what's this thing you've got on the wall here?
That is a study desk. So if I don't want to go out to the studio, I can do some work from here, often do Zoom meetings and things like that from right here in the kitchen.
What a cool feature. I've never seen one like that before.
I like it because it's a great space saver.
Yeah.
But when you pull it out, it actually looks quite funky.
Yeah,
So.
very cool. And then we've got the sleeping lofts upstairs. Can we take a look at them?
Absolutely.
Alrighty. I really like the way you've done the entrance up here, especially with all of those lovely family photos on the wall.
Yeah, I like my family tree. I've put photos of all the different Christmases throughout the years.
Yeah.
And those people who are not necessarily blood relatives, but also, other friends that are family as well.
Yeah, I love that. And I especially like the handrail that you've crafted up there. That is a really neat feature.
Thanks. It's from one of the oldest trees in New Zealand.
Very nice. And the layout up here is really nice as well. It's great that you've got your very spacious loft up here, and then you've also got the guest loft there too, which is really cool. And it's great that you've got the added layer of privacy with the shutters here too.
Yes, these shutters are a extra addition. They're a new one because it just makes it feel like when I've got guests over that there's a little bit more privacy for them as well as me. And it just makes it feel like it's not just an open planned area up here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's lovely to have so many windows up here as well. It really does make this loft feel very sort of open and expansive as you stretch the eye right out into the countryside.
I actually purposely wanted more windows up here because I like to be able to see, and lying in bed I can actually literally see out of every single window all the way to the Manawahei Hills, all the way to Whakatane from here. I can watch White Island doing its thing, but I can sit in bed and just kind of see what's happening outside in the world.
Amazing. And you've got the wardrobe up here as well?
Yes, another bit of my DIY, I put in a door so that I didn't have to keep looking at all my clothes all the time.
Fair enough. And I love that up here you've got all of these wonderful artistic pops as well, like this cool feature wall that you've done.
Yes, I wanted to make the entrance up the top of the hallway something different.
Yeah.
And that cutaway that I wore for my masters, it was given to me by Dad, so it's now a feature. So it just makes it even more that special.
It certainly does. And so how long have you been living in the tiny house now?
I've been here since 2019. So
Wow.
5 years, coming up 6.
Yeah, great. And this was also quite a long time dream of yours to live in a tiny house. Is tiny house life living up to your expectation?
I actually love living here. I love the layout of my house. I love the way that it's been set up. I often go and look at others and think, nah, I like my house. And it serves a purpose for what I need. Yeah.
I completely agree. What would you say you enjoy most about living here?
The most I enjoy about living here is the space. The space that I have, the outlook that I have, the fact that Dad and I could do this together. You know, Mum would come down with scones or things like that, or, you know, hold a hammer or things like that. But Dad and I would just do the whole pottering around, creating. So, I mean, everything that you've just wandered through has had his touch all over it.
That really is so special.
So to me, this place keeps his memory alive. I can think, you know, there's often times I'm like, okay, Dad, what the heck do I do here? You know, how do I do this? And it's hard because I often look around and I think, oh, it needs a bit of a paint and things like that. But then I'm like, oh, I don't want to because that's what Dad had done. There's so much memory here and it's special, you know. If I was to ever to sell or to do something different, it would be hard. Yeah, because it's sentimental at the end of the day.
And can we talk about the cost that was involved in building your home?
Sure. I wanted to keep it as a budget of around 100,000, and back when I did build it, managed to get it for that. The added extra bits like the deck and putting solar on and painting and everything myself, I probably ended up 150,000, 160,000
Great.
all up, which is great. And I've got no additional utility bills and things like that.
Absolutely. And obviously you've been living here for quite a while now. You've managed to build yourself not only a beautiful home, but also quite a lovely lifestyle with lots of travel. What is next for you? What does the future hold for you now?
Well, who knows, really. It might be that I travel again. Europe is on my wish list as well as Africa.
Great.
But I think I'm quite settled here in Whakatane.
Yeah. And you really do have such a lovely spot here with, you know, your connection to family and then all of the animals and everything. I really think you've built quite an idyllic place for yourself here.
I do too. I love it. I love being able to just sit out there. Everybody comes here and comments about how peaceful it is and how relaxing it is. And that's what I want to be able to provide, you know, when people come to stay and things like that, that they can share a piece of this paradise.
It really is quite something. Louise, thank you so much for sharing your beautiful home with me.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming.
I think it's easy for us to think of a home as being an inanimate object, but through building this house together with her father, Louise has built something which is more than just a house. This is a place which is truly alive with memories. Looking all throughout this home, it's evident just how much love has been built into this space, and that just means it's a place that feels really, really good to be in. That to me is more of the definition of a home than anything else.